lines from East Albany. We've got lines from all over the place. It's great to have them here in person, but it's great to have you there participating virtually also. Brenda's got a video that she's going to play here shortly that's a bit of an orientation, admittedly, for those that are here in attendance, but for everybody that's participating remotely. And I hope it's okay to say, Brenda, I think it might just be you and I that are on this Zoom meeting right now. We are going to send Lions around the state some information that they can send, that you can send to your state legislators. So with that, it's also OSU Day at the Capitol. Yeah. Bill Beavers and go Ducks for you Duck fans that are out there also. It's an important day for Lions to express our appreciation to state legislators for their support of children's vision health and Senate Bill 276, which is designed to preserve funding for schools to be able to identify vision health issues in their students. So that being said, Brenda, let's play the orientation video, and everyone will get a chance to meet Danelle Romaine of Romaine Freeze, our lobbyist that helps us navigate this process of ensuring that funds are available to provide critically important vision screenings for Oregon students. So Brenda, let's play the video.
Okay.
So you'll be meeting with either the actual member of the Oregon legislature or their staff. Either one is equally important in terms of your interaction with them about this bill. Legislators are quite busy right now. We're really at the heart of the session where floor sessions are going longer. They're really trying to get key bills past the finish line. The Capitol is under construction, so it's a little bit weird right now in terms of lack of spaces to meet in the Capitol. Many legislators are not in their offices right now. So don't worry if you're not meeting with the actual legislator. The staff is important. And what you want to do is go through the key points about our bill that you have in front of you. Make sure they know that you are a constituent and what your role is and how long you've been working on this program and the results you've seen throughout the time that you've been supporting the school vision screening program. And make sure that you leave those talking points behind so that legislator knows who to call when they're asking questions about this critical funding. Remember to keep your conversations nonpartisan and positive, and as much as you can, stay on the topic of the school vision screening. If you would like to ask the legislator or their staff questions about what's happening generally during the session, something that wouldn't be a trigger issue or lead to sounding partisan either way, I think that's absolutely fine to do, kind of small talk, but be careful about getting into other political issues where you may or may not agree with your legislator, because we wouldn't want that to be a deterrent to them focusing on the issue that brings us into the Capitol today, which is the critical funding for the school vision screening. So for during your meetings with legislators, we're in a little bit of a different situation this legislative session, which is a positive situation in that there is money, existing funding that's rolled over due to COVID school closures and other issues. There's current money in the school vision screening account, $3.4 million. And so our ask is a little bit different this legislative session. Our ask is to preserve the funding, the $3.4 million that's currently in the school vision screening account. So hopefully that's clear to everybody that there is money, that we want to preserve the money. The legislature is going to be looking for funds after the May 17th revenue forecast, and we want to ensure that this fund is protected. So that's really our message: preserve the funding in the school vision screening account. So this should be a great morning for everyone. I'm sure you'll have some really interesting conversations. Remember to either mentally record or record somehow the information you get from your legislator so we can all talk about it when we meet for lunch today at the RAM. I'm really looking forward to hearing what your legislators and their staff said about this program and funding and any tips they have for us in terms of next steps. So please bring that information with you to lunch, and hope you have a great morning and see you at lunch.
We are live streaming from the Capitol. We've got Lions Day at the Capitol. Several of our Lions members are down there right now, and they are getting together and preparing to visit with their legislature. legislators and talk about the funding for school vision screening and the importance of funding school vision screening. So I'm going to go ahead and pause my audio here, and I'm going to go ahead and play our video that we have here with Colt Gill, who is director of the Oregon Department of Education. This is a part of our preparation and services for Lions Day at the Capitol.
As we talked about earlier, Colt, there's studies that show that kids need to read at grade level to be successful academically. What have you seen today that supports that?
This has been great. So this is the first time I've been a principal, I've been a superintendent. I've seen the Oregon Lions at work across Oregon doing vision screening in schools. It's the first time I've actually got trained to be able to do it myself.
You did a great job.
Oh, thank you. But that was a lot of fun. But what I noticed when I got to see the results for certain students was I know some are going to be heading to the eye doctor, and that's going to set them on the path to learning and being successful in school.
Hello, everybody. I just want to take a moment to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us at the Lions Day at the Capitol virtual edition. I am your online host, Brenda Anderson. On location in Salem, we have Doug Thompson, Brad King, Samantha Doyle, and several others. They are working to meet with our legislature and our legislators and our Lions Club members who are there on site in order to discuss the importance of school vision screenings, the opportunity to go into elementary schools and provide the crucially important vision checks and make sure that we are helping to discover potentially unidentified vision conditions that can affect children's learning. This gives us a chance to advocate on their behalf and make sure that we are continuing to reach the over 160 to 180, sometimes hopefully this year, up to 200,000 students for screening. So I want to take a moment and I'm going to replay aspects of what we introduced at the 8:30 time period. I want to just run over real quick what we are doing there. So this is for Senate Bill 276, vision screenings for Oregon students. The bill would address the need that 25% of all students have a potential undiagnosed vision problem. Approximately 80% of learning for students who are in the kindergarten through 8th grade level is visual, yet only 10% have the eyeglasses that they need or other vision aids. For us, this is about ensuring that children in underserved communities can gain access to vision care. It is critically important for us to support these students in their education in regards to Oregon's equity and inclusion outcomes. We want to make sure that every student who needs eyeglasses and vision assistance is able to receive it. This would allow for every Oregon school district to continue to access funding for vision screenings, meaning it doesn't come out of the local school budget. It comes out of the Department of Education budget, separate funding. That means that this is a program that will not negatively impact the local efforts and what they're trying to do for students in your community. Vision is a right, not a privilege. We truly believe that. We think that any amount of vision that a person has and that a student has, we should be able to work with them in order to maximize their ability to use that vision, whether that's tools or eyeglasses or other ways that we can assist. This would help allocate over $2 million biannually to reimburse schools for the cost of vision screenings and expand the program to double the number of students who receive those vision screenings every year. We want to make sure that we are continuing to reach as many students are in the elementary school system in particular, make sure that they are getting their screenings every year. And if we have the opportunity to expand then into middle schools and into high schools, we want to continue to do that because we know student vision can change very quickly depending on the circumstances. We continue to support statewide vision screening. The funding was allocated by unanimous support in the 2017 legislature. Vision screening methodology is safe and complies with all current school health mandates. The foundation takes student health and safety seriously. Staff and screeners never get within a meter of the student. We work very closely with the team at each individual school in order to make sure we're providing an adequate screening. And we follow up usually within 5 business days or less with the actual results that they are able to then send out and distribute to parents. And we've got a lot of follow-up resources, as many of our Lions and other supporters know, to help us get those students in for exams and treatment after their screening. Hi, Doug.
Hello, Brenda. So talk about excitement. We had a fire drill here at the state capitol. And so everybody in the building had to depart the building. There's like a couple of VIPs. There's Senator Rob Wagner and Senator James Manning that are big supporters of our bill of school vision screening. And oh, look, we have Mr. Art Abbott of the Gresham Breakfast Lions Club. I'm not sure. Can you hear me okay, Brenda?
You sure can. Hi, Art.
Oh, good.
Lovely to see you.
Yeah, and in fact, Art, Samantha, why don't you step in? And for those of you unaware, this is Samantha Doyle, our development coordinator. Samantha, you got a couple of questions for Art, I believe.
I do. So, Art, thank you so much for being here today. One question I have for you is, why are you here today?
Oh, you're back to the Capitol.
Why are you here today?
Here to speak for government, to bill, whatever the number is, 276 passed, to continue the funds for our school screening program.
Wonderful. And why is our student vision screening program so important?
Well, because mobile health screening started a number of years ago. I was involved in getting it started. It's a very important project. We're out there screening a couple 100,000 kids a year to get their eyes and their checked or something. It's just a critical program to the state of Oregon.
Wonderful. And then because of a really wonderful fire drill that just happened, and it gave us a chance to come out and take a breather. Thank you again, Art, for interviewing with me.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and hear from Mr. Brad King.
Oh, hey.
Brad, how's it going?
Paying attention.
Yeah, Brad probably needs no introduction, but Brad, why don't you tell our audience who you are and what you're doing here today?
Well, I'm Lion Brad King with Walton Lions Club, and I'm also the lucky lion that works for the Oregon Lion your Oregon Lion Sanctuary Foundation as a school vision screener. I get to go all over Northwest Oregon and sometimes to further regions and help conduct school vision screening all over multiple District 36. Great job.
Excellent. So, we're going to be meeting with different state legislators today and thanking them for their support of children's vision health. But for our audience that maybe has never done this before, can you talk a little bit about the importance of these, one-on-one visits or visits in person and the communication to a legislator? How does that help?
Well, it's absolutely important, Kate. Here's what I keep telling people. My degree's in political science, and it's really important that people know who their elected representatives are, but it's more important that their representatives know who they are so that they can lobby for the causes that are important to them, such as school vision screening, to even the playing field for kiddos with undetected vision issues.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, Brenda, we're going to go back to the studio now, and I think that you have a video that you're going to show to our audience.
Saying again, welcome to our 9 a.m. update. On location in Salem is Doug Thompson, Brad King, Samantha Doyle, Art Abbott, and several other of our Lions supporters. I am your online Zoom host, Brenda Anderson. I'm happy to be here virtually at our 2023 Day at the Capitol. It gives us an opportunity to really advocate on behalf of schools vision screening for students. That was our live interview section, and I wanted to give us a chance. We do have a quick video here with our school vision screening vision manager, Brad King. Here we go.
I screen predominantly in Northwest Oregon, but I do get to travel all over Oregon and meet with Lions and help kids in school. I will probably screen over 35,000 kids this year. This is the Spot Photo Vision Screener from Welch Allen. With this tool, we can screen a kiddo in less than 30 seconds, take 13 measures of the eye, looking for 8 conditions common to reading problems for kiddos in school. I'm passionate about this program because kiddos need to be able to see, to read, to learn, and to move forward with their lives, to be productive, and have better lives altogether.
So that does conclude our 9 a.m. session, our live updates and recordings that we have for that. I'm going to continue to kind of replay aspects of our morning session and to present other, as we can, interviews. Sounds like we're going to play the whole event, we got to go with what's happening. It sounds like they did have a fire alarm pulled there at the Capitol, so everybody had to vacate the building. So I'm sure they're getting back inside and getting oriented as soon as they can. They will be visiting different legislators' offices in order to talk about and advocate for vision screenings for students in schools, and that the funding that would be available through this bill, SB, isn't that wonderful? I can't even remember our specific bill number. I should know this. My goodness. Here we go. Going back to SB 276 in regards to vision screenings for Oregon students. And this bill, of course, is going to help us as part of the team with the Department of Education, Oregon Department of Education, to work with school nurses and local school officials and teachers in order to help screen students for vision conditions that they may not know they have, that may not have been treated, that will allow us to get them in for a comprehensive exam. That comprehensive exam can most likely identifies that a majority of those students will need eyeglasses. If they do need eyeglasses, we are able to assist. We've got multiple programs through our Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation that allows us to provide coverage for the exams and eyeglasses that might be necessary. If an additional condition is found, we do have our patient care program, which is able to provide exams and treatment for vision and hearing related services. So if there's anything that is discovered, we want to make sure that we are providing what after and follow-up care we possibly can to every one of those students that is referred for further care. So this funding helps to preserve the program. It makes it so that local schools are not having to utilize their very sometimes precarious budgets in order to fund this. This does come from the Department of Education and from a separate fund from what they draw upon for some of their services each year. So again, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We will be continuing to live stream the event. We will be here for several hours as you're able to join us. If you have any questions, please use the meeting chat box, or you can join us on Facebook Live. We are streaming to Facebook as well. You can use the chat box there. I'm keeping an eye on that so that I can respond to any questions or concerns that anybody has. At this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and pause the share and get back to our display. And as we conclude our next section, we're going to have additional interviews, we're going to have additional live updates, and we're going to kind of play it by ear, since it does sound like, as I mentioned, they had a fire drill. I don't know if it was a fire drill or a fire alarm went off there at the Capitol, so they did have to vacate the building. Impacts kind of our schedule for the day, but we're going to be as flexible as needed. So thank you, everyone, and I'll talk with you in just a few moments.
Hello, and welcome to our virtual Lions Day at the Capitol 2023. Today's sessions are being recorded for later use and rebroadcast. We are going to go over some of the videos and sessions that we've already had this morning. I just wanted to go ahead and replay some of these options and get a chance to talk to you all about what it is that we're doing. What is Lions Day at the Capitol? Lions Day at the Capitol is an opportunity for our Lions Club members and our foundation staff and those interested parties who work with us and who are committed to vision screenings for students are at the Capitol advocating on behalf of funding for this program. We have funds that are set aside within the Department of Education that help to reimburse schools for the cost of vision screening. That means that we are able to come in using our school vision screening program through the Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation, provide those screenings at the local elementary schools, sometimes middle schools, occasional high schools, and follow up and be able to provide additional resources and results and referrals, and then be able to support those schools as they help students get and access that follow-up care. I am your online host, Brenda Anderson. On location in Salem, we have Doug Thompson, Brad King, Samantha Doyle. So that kind of concluded our earlier sessions. During one of those sessions, they did have a a fire alarm go off, so they had to vacate the Capitol building, and they came back to us and did some local interviews, which will be available. We did record those, which will be available later on. I just want to, again, reintroducing myself. I am the online Zoom host. I'm actually the VP of Finance and Operations for the Oregon Lions Site and Green Foundation. On location with us in Salem is our CEO, Doug Thompson, our School Vision Screening and Development Coordinator, Brad King, and Samantha Doyle, who is our development manager, who's able to help us coordinate events and everything that we do to support our resource development. So we did some live interviews, which, as I mentioned, will be available for us later. It sounds like I've got a message here saying that we will be focusing on our staff member, Samantha Doyle. Hello, everyone.
Hi, I've got some folks with us here. I'd like everyone to introduce themselves. So I'm Sam. I'm with the Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation. And who else have we got here?
Jeff Stiles, president of Dallas Lions.
I'm Ari Durso. I'm one of the few active members of the Dallas Leos.
And I'm Brad Durso of the Dallas Lions.
I'm Mike Kilkenny, the Dallas Lions.
So I'm here surrounded by Dallas Lions. We've got a bunch of other Lions and Hood River Lions over here as well. We just got joined by a bunch of wonderful folks. I'm going to ask a few questions of some of our Lions. So I'd actually like to start over here. Ari, you said you're part of the Leos. Can you tell me a little bit about why you're here today with us?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know. No, I know why all of us are here. I just don't know why I'm here specifically. But hey, I get to skip school, so I'm not gonna complain.
Huh.
So you're here today to help understand the legislative process and how constituents can interact with their elected representatives and explain to them the benefits of upcoming bills, such as House Bill 276, which is going to allow continued funding for the vision screening. We wanted to express how important that was to not just the communities, but students learning and part of our core mission. That's what we were here to do today.
Well, no, I was saying I don't know why I'm here today.
Because I was coming.
I know why the Lions are here today. We're here to encourage funding.
I love that. We're getting folks involved in government at a young age. And this applies directly to what you're doing, Ari, in schools, right? We're here because we're talking about school vision screenings and making sure that you get the help that you need to be successful in a classroom with your vision and all your friends in class. So I'm glad you got to skip school today, but I think it's for a really great cause and great reason. And Brad, thank you so much for bringing Ari today and for sharing that with us. And then Mike over here, I'm going to hop on over. Hi, Mike.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. Now, I understand you've already had a meeting today. Is that correct?
We did. We've had two meetings. Our first meeting, Senator Bonham wasn't there, so we got to talk to his chief of staff.
Wonderful.
And he's fully on board with the bill. Yep. Then we just got done with Representative Helfrich, and he said when it comes over to his side of the house, he'll put his name on the bill. So, it sounds like, we've got good representation and everybody, at least from our side of the state, is on board.
That's wonderful to hear. Well, thank you so much for sitting in on these meetings and for advocating.
I first time I've been here, I'm kind of bummed that I can't get to see the historical part, but oh well.
Well, there's next year.
Put on a hard hat, the yellow jacket.
That's one way to do it.
And you just missed our floor tour.
Oh, did you?
Yes, up on the dais.
Ooh, nice. Can I talk to you guys about how that went?
Sure.
Would you be willing to?
Smooth.
So tell us again, let's reintroduce ourselves.
Jeff Stiles.
Jeff
the
Stiles.
Dallas Lions president.
Wonderful.
So.
And then did you also want to introduce yourself too?
Sure. I'm Lori Stiles, past president of the Dallas Lions Club.
Ethan Ray, first vice president of the Dallas Lions Club.
Awesome. So many Lions here today. This is so great. So tell us about your house floor, or you said you got a floor tour. Is that correct?
Yes, yep. We were meeting with Representative Helfrich, and he offered us the opportunity to go out onto the House floor and check it out. So we went out there, we got to see what it looks like. We got to sit at his desk and take a picture over there. And then on top of that, he was so nice. He asked the guys that were working up at the dais, and they agreed to step aside, and we got to go up on the dais and take a picture up there. So that was very special to get to be a part of, you know, our government for a day.
That's really great. And then you guys were sitting in the same meetings together.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
Wonderful. And how would you say that those meetings went?
Positive.
Very
Positive.
After all, I think everybody wants their kids to have success in school, and getting them properly screened is one way to do it.
I believe so too, Paul. It's a great answer. Now, tell me specifically, what is the most important aspect of this bill to you?
Well, actually, to have the money available so that it gets paid for. All the Lions and volunteers that help do it free, but there's still associated costs with the equipment. And so that's what we're making sure that that does get supported.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, Paul, so much. And then Lions, thank you so much for being a part of our live stream today. For folks who were not able to be here physically, do you want to give a wave and say hello to anyone?
Hello, everybody.
Say hi.
Cyberspace.
In the cyberspace. All right. And Brenda, I think that's about it for us in this live segment. So you can go ahead and move on to the next part. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I hope you continue to stay for our next top of the hour update. Thank you.
Okay, sharing our screen. That was our live interviews at the top of the hour for the Lions Day at the Capitol. We are working very hard to meet with the various legislators' offices. Oftentimes, if the legislator is not available, we are able to meet with their chief of staff or other members of their staff. And that is crucially important because they are a big part of the process of evaluating and communicating on these topics. So right now, I'm going to play a quick video that we have pre-recorded with our Crooked River Ranch Lions Club member and school vision screening coordinator, John Aubrey. Here's John.
My name's John Aubrey. I'm the Central Oregon School Events Coordinator for the Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation, and I live at Crooked River Ranch, Oregon. It's over by Bend, and we screen and are projected to screen over 14,500 plus kids this year, all over Central Oregon. We screen all the way up into the northern part of the Central Oregon. And the exciting thing about screening is we get to work with kids who may not know they have a vision problem. I'm a retired educator. I taught for 35 years, is that if a kid can't see, he can't learn. And that's the important thing, and that's why I'm so excited about this year getting back into all of the schools in Central Oregon. And like I said, we're going to screen over 14,000 plus kids, and it's just exciting to know that we're helping kids. This is a vision screening spot. We set these up, and when the kids come in, they give us a number. We program that lion number into the school screening spot, and the kid looks into this lens right here, and the machine does the work. Now, the eye doctors tell me that these things are so efficient, they can almost do a prescription for eyeglasses off of what the results of this machine. These machines allow us to screen over 200,000 kids this school year, and we're so excited for that.
Thank you, John, for explaining the process of screening, especially in Central Oregon. It does make a big difference to use those objective spot screening devices. We're thrilled to have the Welch Allen spot devices. It allows us to digitally upload student data prior to the event, meaning that, as John mentioned, when we have a student there who is in front of us, we are working with that student, and we simply have to enter in a number that brings up the record for the student on the device. And the device at the student eyes. They're able to hold still for just a few seconds, and we have a result that allows multiple measurements. And as communicated, we are able, in those referral forms, it gets communicated to the doctor as to what those measurements were, what the potential conditions existing for that student are. And as mentioned, it's not quite a prescription, but it certainly does give us that detail. So at this point in time, I'd like to go ahead and have everybody, we're going to rewatch a couple of videos. We're going to do some other items here with our Lions Day at the Capitol. As I mentioned, I'll repeat aspects of this as we go along, but this gives us, it looks like we do have another interview that we pre-recorded with Robert Springer, who is also one of our school vision screening coordinators in the East Albany area. So here we go for Robert.
This year, I'm excited that we'll be screening in my district somewhere close to 22,000 students. And we cover the Mid-Valley, Salem, down to Eugene, Springfield, out to the coast, Newport, and that area. It's an exciting thing to screen these kids. There's finding kids who need some assistance so they can be the best potential person they can be. It opens up their choices of careers, gives them the opportunity to explore. If you can't read, you just simply cannot succeed in school. This is our spot screening device. We have been using this for 9 years plus, and it is amazing. We can screen easily 200 kids in an hour. In the Albany schools, with the team that I work with, we screen over 400 kids in an hour. It is accurate. It tells us what is going on with their vision, screens for everything that you could want, and gets these kids referred so that they can get eyeglasses and succeed. With this device, we can screen children who cannot respond. We can go into special needs classes and screen kids, see what's going on, and get them to be the best person they can be.
Thank you, Robert, for sharing that. Robert has been with us for a number of years. Also, in his case, his background is in eye care. He's gives us an opportunity to kind of apply that knowledge as we go in to the schools in order to work with the students. It kind of gives an idea of what might be going on. But okay, we've got another pre-recorded interview here with Deb Nelson, East Albany Lions Club. Deb's been with us for a couple of years now and is also one of our school vision screening coordinators.
I do school screenings in Albany, in Springfield, in Salem, Lebanon, and I love it. And I'm looking forward to screening about 12,000 children this year. That's amazing to me that we can possibly help children in their vision, because that is so important. So let's give them every opportunity we can to get a better education and feel better about themselves. Children are our future, and we need to be mindful of this.
Thank you, Deb. Okay, this does conclude our 10 a.m. session of our 2023 Lions Day at the Capitol. I will be, as we get closer to the, we'll say 10:30 timeframe, I will go ahead and replay some aspects and videos of what we've played before, share some of the information that we have and some updates. And then, of course, as we get to the 11 o'clock top of the hour, we will come back live with some additional interviews from on site there at Capitol in Salem. Thank you so much for joining us, especially on the live stream. Excited to have you with us. If you have any comments or questions, please use your chat box. I'm happy to answer those. I am keeping an eye on everything that we have going on here, not only within the Zoom meeting, but also live streaming on Facebook. So any questions at all, please don't hesitate to comment and react. We love to have those, love to engage and know that you're out there and hearing us. And of course, we are recording this for future broadcasting and replaying. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back in just a bit.
Hello again, everyone. This is me, Sam. I'm at the top of the hour for 11 a.m. And I have someone I'd like to introduce you to. We're going to chat with. Can you introduce yourself again?
Hi, Brian Sauer with the McMinnville Lions.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Lion Brian. We were just chatting a little bit about our day here at the Capitol, and I'd love to know how it's been going just generally.
Oh, it's been great. We met with our local representative and had a great conversation talking about the Senate bill and learned a lot about what's going on in their lives. So yeah, it's been gone real well so far.
Very good. And then can you tell me just personally, why is Senate Bill 276 so important for you?
As far as going for screening of elementary schools, children, last year we did 1,700 students in the McMinnville area, and 15 to 20% of them had referrals, and that's about 500 kids that had trouble seeing the blackboard and impacting their school life and how they perform in school. So it's really important. And when we were talking to Representative Elmer, she said that when she was in school, she was tested and she found out that she was nearsighted in one eye and farsighted in another eye. So it directly impacted her. And she said that she was definitely in favor of the bill. And so, yeah, it affects everybody.
That's wonderful. I love that story of how you walked into someone's office and they immediately just said, oh, yeah, I know you guys. You guys got me glasses, right?
Yes, we sell Christmas trees in McMinnville, the Lions. And every year we have several people who come in and say, I remember the Lions and you tested my eyes and found out I couldn't see. And you helped us with glasses and changed my life. In school, I could see the blackboard finally. And that's why they come to buy Christmas trees every year. So it affects a lot of people.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Well, Bill, thank you so much for sharing that with me.
You're welcome.
And then I'm actually going to walk on over here because I see another familiar face I know. Hello, Doug.
I was going to try to impersonate a member of the press and ask Brian one more question, but I was a little bit late for that. However, I'm going to be your segue to your next interview.
Wonderful.
Which is Lion Steve Travis of the Roseburg Lions and a school vision screening event coordinator. Steve, you want to come on up? Awesome. Welcome to Lions Day at the Capitol. Thank you. Steve, tell our audience why you're here today and why this is important.
We're here today to visit with legislators to ask for their support for Senate Bill 276.
Wonderful. And then tell me, for you personally, with your background, why is the Senate bill important?
Well, as a retired optometrist, I understand the importance of vision learning. And as has been said many times, 80% of learning comes through your eyes. If you can't read, you can't learn. If you can't learn, you don't succeed.
Absolutely. And I, from what my understanding, as you being a school vision screener, what's your favorite part of going in and screening?
Interacting with the kids.
Really?
They're just lots of fun. From the young ones, I like to tease them, and the older ones, the 8th graders, the seniors, they all enjoy it. At least I think they do.
Well, I think it's good. They pretend and they get out of class.
They get out of class.
And also, they're getting their eyes checked. I think that's important for anyone at any age.
Yes.
That's really wonderful. And then how do you feel that the meetings have been going?
Everybody's very supportive. They're all positive. They say there's no reason why this shouldn't be funded. I don't see any no votes.
I like to hear that. Well, Lions Day at the Capitol, this isn't your first time here, right?
No, I've been to 2 or 3 others.
Wonderful. Yeah. And how has this visit been in comparison to others?
Probably more relaxed. I don't know. I'm more relaxed, or if the legislators are. I don't know how they can be because of the bills that are before them. Mm-hmm. So many, I think 1,000 they still have to go through. So I don't see how they can relax.
That's fair. But from our understanding about this bill in particular this time around, it's more about just preserving that money we already have in the fund.
Correct. Yeah.
For this year, right?
And most of them have seen the value of it just from their constituents. They've seen parents and instructors, educators who just are so much in favor of it.
Awesome. And then anything else to add, Doug, or anyone else?
Here's what I will add to this is that our viewing audience next is going to see a video that features Lion Steve Tronis and the work that he does in Douglas County. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Sending it back over to you, Brenda.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today. I wanted to take a moment and share a statement from Mary Lee Turner. She went ahead and posted and shared the following. Greetings from Lion Mary Lee Turner. Yes, I am congenitally legally blind. If my sight had been more accurately tested when I was a young child, it would have been detected that I have no macular in my one eye that has sight. If that had been known, I would have been presented with a much stronger case to learn Braille. Since that was never promoted as the most efficient way for me to become literate, I was deprived of that powerful option. I have definitely been on the losing side of that because of that deprivation. When I finally chose to learn Braille as an adult, the mastering of this powerful skill, it was much more arduous. I am still not as efficient as a Braille reader as I would have been if I had been encouraged to master it as a child. This is one of the reasons why I am a passionate advocate of continuing the funding of Senate Bill 276, respectfully submitted by Lion PDG Mary Lee Turner. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Mary Lee. It is a pleasure to have you with us today. It's a pleasure to have you advocating on behalf of students and youth in the state of Oregon to receive vision screening. So I'm just going ahead and sharing our screen here. We are live. We were just live with Samantha Doyle there at the Capitol. She is on location there in Salem, along with CEO Doug Thompson and School Vision Screening Coordinator and Development Coordinator Brad King. I am your online host, Brenda Anderson. We did a live interview there with Dr. Steve Tronis.
Thank you so much. All right. Hello again, everyone. This is me, Sam. I'm at the top of the hour for 11 a.m. And I have someone I'd like to introduce you to. We're going to chat with, can you introduce yourself again?
Hi, Brian Sauer with the McMinnville Lions.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Lion Brian. We were just chatting a little bit about our day here at the Capitol, and I'd love to know how it's been going just generally.
Oh, it's been great. We met with our local representative and had a great conversation talking about the Senate bill and learned a lot about what's going on in their lives. So, yeah, it's been gone real well so far.
Very good. And then can you tell me just personally, why is Senate Bill 276 so important for you?
As far as going for screening of elementary schools, children, last year we did 1,700 students in the McMinnville area, and 15 to 20% of them got referrals, and that's about 500 kids that had trouble seeing the blackboard and impacting their school life and how they perform in school. So it's really important. And when we were talking to Representative Elmer, she said that when she was in school, she was tested and she found out that she was nearsighted in one eye and farsighted in another eye. So it directly impacted her. And she said that she was definitely in favor of the bill. And so, yeah, it affects everybody.
That's wonderful. I love that story of how you walked into someone's office and they immediately just said, oh, yeah, I know you guys. You guys got me glasses, right?
Yes, we sell Christmas trees in McMinnville, the Lions. And every year we have several people who come in and say, I remember the Lions and you tested my eyes and found out I couldn't see. And you helped us with glasses and changed my life. In school, I could see the blackboard finally. And that's why they come to buy Christmas trees every year. So it affects a lot of people.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Well, Bill, thank you so much for sharing that with me.
You're welcome.
And then I'm actually going to walk on over here because I see another familiar face I know. Hello, Doug.
I was going to try to impersonate a member of the press and ask Brian one more question, but I was a little bit late for that. However, I'm going to be your segue to your next interview.
Wonderful.
Which is Lion Steve Tronis of the Roseburg Lions and a school vision screening event coordinator. Steve, you want to come on up? Awesome. Welcome to Lions Day at the Capitol. Thank you. Steve, tell our audience why you're here today and why this is important.
We're here today to visit with legislators to ask for their support for Senate Bill 276.
Wonderful. And then tell me, for you personally, with your background, why is the Senate bill important?
Well, as a retired optometrist, I understand the importance of vision learning. And as has been said many times, 80% of learning comes through your eyes. If you can't read, you can't learn. If you can't learn, you don't succeed.
Absolutely. And I, from what my understanding, as you being a school vision screener, what's your favorite part of going in and screening?
Interacting with the kids.
Really?
They're just lots of fun. From the young ones, I like to tease them, and the older ones, the 8th graders, the seniors, they all enjoy it. At least I think they do.
Well, I think it's good. They pretend and they get out of class. And also, they're getting their eyes checked. I think that's important for anyone at any age.
Yes.
That's really wonderful. And then how do you feel that the meetings have been going?
Everybody's very supportive. They're all positive. They say there's no reason why this shouldn't be funded. I don't see any no votes.
I like to hear that. Well, Lions Day at the Capitol, this isn't your first time here, right?
No, I've been to 2 or 3 others.
Wonderful. Yeah. And how has this visit been in comparison to others?
Probably more relaxed. I don't know. I'm more relaxed, or if the legislators are. I don't know how they can be because of the bills that are before them. So many, I think 1,000 they still have to go through. So I don't see how they can relax.
That's fair. But from our understanding about this bill in particular this time around, it's more about just preserving that money we already have in the fund.
Correct. Yeah.
For this year, right?
And most of them have seen the value of it just from their constituents. They've seen parents and instructors, educators who just are so much in favor of it.
Awesome. And then anything else to add, Doug, or anyone else?
Here's what I will add to this is that our viewing audience next is going to see a video that features Lion Steve Tronis and the work that he does in Douglas County. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Steve Tronis. I'm in the Roseburg Lions Club, that's District E. I've been a Lion member for quite a few years. I started in John Day. I enjoy screening because I've always enjoyed kids. I was an optometrist in my previous life, and my favorite times of the day were when the kids came in and I could just visit with them. There's so many stories of children that weren't performing well either in school or in sports, and we've got feedback from the years that we go back that they've turned their lives around because of being able to see. When you can go from the schoolroom being able to see and read, and you get out and enjoy the area that we live in. We go from Crater Lake to the ocean, and they can see and enjoy all of those things. I really enjoy working with all the kids. They banter back and forth, and it's just fun to work with them.
So grateful to have Dr. Tronis on our team. So it looks like they had planned to do a live interview with Brad, but I believe he is meeting with several of our legislative representatives. So I know he is going to the various offices along with Everett Lions in the area, and it is an opportunity for us to advocate on behalf of students and the importance of vision screenings. Next up, we've got Senate Bill 276 video. It's going to share a little bit about the importance of the bill itself and what the bill will accomplish.
If kids can see, they can learn. 80% of learning is done visually. Catching student vision issues at the earliest possible age is a major factor in ensuring good student outcomes and keeping our kids on track for graduation.
Detection of issues like eyesight or hearing or maybe other issues that affect a child's ability to learn need to be detected early in their period of time in education. The earlier they're detected, the less the cost that will be, the more chances that they will develop to their fullest potential.
The sooner we can catch vision problems, the better. And children's eyes also change very rapidly, so you can pass in kindergarten and completely fail in the first grade.
Oregon schools, their school nurses, and their private partners, like the Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation, are doing their best to meet the mission of providing high-quality vision screening services to Oregon school children.
Well, the nurses just literally love us because we've taken a huge job off of their shoulders. Nurses would have to do manual, old-fashioned chart on the wall, HOTV vision screenings with kids, and it would take weeks of their time.
The technology the Lions has brought to the schools, we're able to test in just a matter of seconds 13 separate eye conditions, and in schools to be able to test both for distance and for close up is absolutely huge.
I was really confused about what was going on because when I was in first grade, it was really easy for me to see and everything was fine. But around second grade, it got really hard for me to read the board, and I was really confused and scared about why I couldn't see things, and I was too nervous to tell anybody.
At an early age, we thought her eyesight was just like any other child's. We had absolutely no idea that she wasn't seeing just like her friends. It started with little reports. Paige isn't staying focused in class. Paige is talking a lot to her neighbor during worksheet time. We thought it was an issue of being on task, but the word focus kept getting tossed around.
Tens of thousands of students have had vision problems detected early enough to keep them on track and succeeding in school. It all adds up. Not only does this program need to be saved, it needs to be expanded so that every child in the state can get the vision screening they need and deserve.
It's the effectiveness, it's the efficiency, and same thing, the kids just do better in school, and that's what the objective is.
Every child should have the right to progress to their fullest potential, and society has a responsibility to see that every child has that right fulfilled.
Vision professionals tell us that about 25% of all children have some type of a vision health issue. And in fact, children that don't see well likely don't read well either. And studies show that children that don't read at grade level, as young as third grade, have a 13 times less likely chance of graduating from high school. So it's a really critical issue, especially here in Oregon. In recognition of that, a bill was passed in 2013, House Bill 3000, that now mandates vision screenings for children before they enter school. The problem is it's an unfunded mandate until 2017, when the legislature then unanimously approved Senate Bill 187, which now provides some public funding to provide vision screenings for children. However, it's only enough funding to address about 35% of children kindergarten through 8th grade. We hope that this support then will allow more kids to be identified at an early age, keep them on track academically, and we really believe that it'll increase our high school graduation rate here in Oregon.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate having you with us. We appreciate the opportunity to not only provide screenings and vision and hearing related services to youth, adults, seniors across the state of Oregon, but specifically for the school vision screening program. We know how important it is to get into communities and be able to identify these conditions early, to provide resources for care and treatment, to make sure that we're following up on those that are referred for further care with a comprehensive exam. We have several programs that are established to assist that families with that process, as well as going in and advocating for vision screenings in elementary schools. Again, thank you so much for joining us at the 2023 Lions Day at the Capitol. We're thrilled to have your support. We hope that you will communicate with your legislators in support of Senate Bill 276. This gives us an opportunity, as I said, to go into schools, to not use the local resources, to keep it within the Department of Education in separate funds, to provide these vision screenings at what would be an updated $4 per student rate. Makes it much easier for schools to work with us and manage the data and make sure that we're getting the details and the referrals out to those that need it. So again, I'm Brenda Anderson. I was your virtual host for today. This was Lions Day at the Capitol. Our team is still there at the Capitol building, making their visits to legislators, and they're going to be heading out to lunch here in just a little bit. So again, I hope you had a good time with us. Thrilled to have you with us. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.